e-tickets that we will learn. Then we'll learn about the manual TST apart. That means uh, if in case there is no fare available and the airline is providing you the fare on your email, how do you create a TST? What is TST? That we will also discuss. And if there is we understood about the TST, then how to create a manual TST, that we will learn. Next is about net remit tickets and the IT tickets, side trip ticketing. So these are the different types of ticketing we are going to learn about. And then we'll learn about the revalidation, reissuance, EMD, and the refunds. So these are the different agenda and different topics that we are going to discuss on each day of the training. So today is the first day of the training. So we will discuss about mainly about the fares and the e-tickets issuance. Okay, and some of the topics about the manual TST. So these are the topics that we will discuss in today's session. Okay, is that clear with everyone? And if you are not clear with that part, so please type NC so that I can understand that you have not understood the topic. All right, so let's begin. The first part of the agenda is about fares. Okay, so let's sign in into the Amadeus selling platform, and from here I'm going to start about the first topic, which is fares. So if I talk you about fares, let me open a notepad. So if I talk you about the fares, so what all informations are present in the fares? So first of all, the fare has base fare. Then we have the taxes part. And in the taxes part, you might see here I have already made a notes of that. So what all includes in the fares? The airline fare, which is called about a base fare. Then about a taxes part, which has an airline plus airport plus the government taxes and plus the surcharges. Okay. So let's understand about, let me pull out one PNR followed by the example. See, so this is one of my PNR which has been created in under my name, Naveen Kumar Mishra. Now, can anyone tell me the PNR is created for which date and from which sector?
10th
Quickly tell
July,
me.
Delhi to Singapore, Singapore, Delhi.
All right. Thank you so very much. Delhi, Singapore, 10th July and back to. That's a round trip journey.
Right.
All right. Now, here, if I have to find out the fare for this PNR, which command I will use to find out the fare? So there are multiple commands, absolutely correct, Mohammed Zayan. That's FXR is also used. Now, what are all the other commands that we use to find out the fare? Anyone else have idea? Apart from FXR, is there any other command which will help me to find out the fares? FXX is also one of the command. Great.
XP.
FXP is also a command. Okay. Do you okay? FXB is also a command. Okay. All right. So we will discuss all of these commands one by one today's in the today's sessions. Okay. So let's first of all discuss about that. If I'm telling you about to get a fare, how many types of different fares are there? So there are three different types of fares. Now, one is called published fare, negotiated fare, and a corporate fare. Okay, so now you will ask me a question. So, what is published fare, negotiated fare, and corporate fare? So, let's first of all understand about a published fare. So, published fare is simple. that it is available and it is visible for all the travel agent. Okay, so if I am a travel agent named as an ABC travel agency, and there is an XYZ travel agency, and both of them will run a simple command, and they will get a same type of fare, because they all are using a single command which is called to display a published fare, and that command is fxx. So whenever we do fxx command, this will always give me a published fare, okay, which is applicable for all the travel agency. Understood? The next topic is about negotiated fare. So negotiated fare means a fare which is negotiated between an airline and the travel agency. So let's take an example. Running a travel agency named as an ABC travel agency. All right. And I have discussed with an airline and I got a negotiated fare from that airline as Singapore Airlines. Okay. And the Singapore Airlines has given me a negotiated fare, and that is only applicable for me. Now, the negotiated fare which has been given by the airline is not applicable for XYZ. So, how do I only find out the negotiated for my travel agency? With this command fxx slash r comma u. We will discuss all these commands separately in detail, but I'm just going to give you an idea about how do I find out the different types of fare. Okay. Now the next topic is corporate fare. Now this fare is applicable for the different corporates. Now there is a Pepsi a company who is a corporate company. Okay. Now what airline will do? Airline will create a special fare for the corporate Pepsi. Okay. And now as a travel agency, if you want it, if you are making a reservation or if you are booking a ticket for only applicable for the Pepsi company, and then you have to ask with the airline to give me the corporate code for displaying the corporate fare. Okay. Understood? Okay, so now let's start first of all our first command. How do I display the published fare? And how do I display the published fare for this PNR? Which command I will perform? Absolutely correct. FXX. So let me do this FXX. Now here, if I do the FXX command, I got the fare display. Yes or no? Tell me. Okay. Now, here on the screen, you will see this is the name of the passenger. And the next line is telling you about last date of ticketing. Now, what is this last date of ticketing? What does this mean? Can anyone tell me about? Anyone have known about this? What is this last date of ticketing or last ticket date 10th of July? Absolutely correct. And this is the fare validity dates. You can say this fare is going to be valid by this date of origin as per the as line mentioned. Now, how do I find out this fare is valid for this 10th of July? How does this get the system displays this information? Then there is a command. With that command, you will get the advance purchase information. This is a term called advance purchase. That means every fare has certain restrictions. And one of the restriction is advance purchase restrictions. So how will you get the information about this fare, that okay, what is the advance purchase restrictions? So to find out the advance purchase restriction, here you have to type a command FUN. One means I wanted to find out the fare quote notes for the first fare line number and put an asterisk mark and type AP. AP is the two-letter code which is used to define and which has all the informations related to the advance purchase. So let me type this command here. One second. Okay. FQN1 star AP. And here in this line, what is this line mentioned here? Do you see anywhere mentioned about the advance purchase restrictions? It is simply mentioned that reservation are required for all the sectors. There is nowhere mentioned about the travel date, that okay, how much is the advance purchase restrictions. So how does this 10th of July becomes the advance purchase restriction? This becomes your date of origin. So whenever there is nothing mentioned in the advance purchase restriction, like okay, before this date you have to do the ticketing or not, so then the date of origin will automatically becomes the last ticket date of that means the advance purchase restriction. Okay, okay, Ayub, I'm going to explain it to you once again. Okay, now, first of all, everybody focus here. Ayum, tell me, how do I find out the fare, published fare for this PNR? Ayum, FXX. Fatima, FXR, we have not discussed yet. Okay, so let's focus on the command that we have discussed. So FXX will always give display me the published fare for the booked itinerary. So I am booked in which class of service? Nancy class of service. And that is the reason if I do FXX, I got the fare for the Nancy class. So here the fare is for the Nancy class. The fare is not for the other class of service because FXX will always give me the fare for the booked itinerary. Remember? And the FXX will always display me the published fare. Is that clear with everyone? Everybody has noted this thing? Okay. All right. Next. The next information is that how does this, or what does this last ticket of date means? This last ticket date means that what is the restrictions, how many days advance purchase this fare. So there is mentioned that last ticket date will be 10th of July. And how does this date 10th of July gets displayed here? Because the fare has a fare restrictions. So every fare has some certain fare restrictions. And all of the fare restrictions are written or mentioned under a fare quote note. Fare quote notes. That means all the types of restrictions, whether it is related with penalty, advance purchase restrictions, the not valid after, minimum stay, maximum stay, there are n number of types of restrictions are applicable. All the restrictions would be mentioned under the fare quote notes. And how do I display the restrictions applicable on this fare? So there is a command which is FQN. Understood, Ayun? Now, if I have, because it might be a possibility that if I do FXX command, here I will be able to see multiple fares. But how many fares are displayed here with the help of FXX? There is only a one fare. And the fare is at line number which? line number 1. So if I have to display the fare code notes for the fare line number 1, I will simple type FQN1. Done? Is that clear with everyone? Ayun? Okay. Now, since there are two segments in the PNR, now which all the two segments or which all the two journeys are available? That is Delhi to Singapore and Singapore to Delhi. Clear? And that is why here you will see the fare code notes for first fare PNR. That means first fare, first segment, first fare, second segment. Is that clear? Okay. And this fare is valid for which type of passenger? Adult passenger. Now, this is for Singapore Airlines, and every fare has a fare basis. So here you will see the fare basis. Now, do you see there are two different fare bases or a single fare basis? That means both the segments have a same fare basis. There is no different fare basis. So it simply means that whatever is written in this fare basis will be applicable in the same fare basis. There will be no difference in any one of the segments. So if I read the first journey rule, the same will be applicable in the second journey rule. Yes or no? So how do I read the first journey rule? So I will simply copy this line and paste it. Now, the moment I press enter, I will be able to see all the restrictions applicable on that fare gets displayed here. So now do you see there are so many restrictions applicable. Now, rules application, maximum stay application, rule, there is blackout, advance restrictions ticket. Remember we were talking about, and what is the two-letter code for that advance restriction? AP. So if I have to read the only advance restriction, I will simply click on that command. And remember, I was talking about FQN1 star AP. So the similar is here. Ayum, is that clear? Now you will be able to see the reservations are required for all sector. Now, whenever you open and whenever you start reading the advanced purchase restrictions line, you will see that there is a line mentioned the reservations are required for all sector. Now, what does this mean? This simply means that the ticket is the reservation to be done for all the sectors. So there is no restrictions applicable in terms of advanced ticketing. And that is the reason if I'm doing FXX command, here is the last date mentioned as a journey date. That means as a date of origin. Is that clear with everyone? Yes, no? Now I am going to show you another example, and there you will be able to read and understood it better. Let me open the another example. All right. This is another example of British Airways Delhi London, London Delhi. Now again I wanted to get the published fare for that particular PNR. So which command I will type? Again, I will use fxx command. Let's display. Now what happened here? Can anyone guess what happened here? In the previous example, there was a single pair. That is the reason the system displays me this way. But in this example, there are multiple pairs available for the mic class. So the system displays me this type of display. So understood the first difference? Yes or no? Okay, now the second difference. The second difference is since the mic class has how many different fares available? Four different fares available. So as per the airline, there are four different types of fares. Yes or no? Okay. Now, the first is displaying with the fare basis. So remember I talked you about that every fare has a fare basis. And the first letter of the fare basis denotes the booking class of service. So which class of service my PNR is booked? My class. And that is why my fare basis is starting with M. So all the fares have the same fare basis and the first letter code is M. So all the four different fares have the same starting class of service. Is that clear? Okay. Now, beside the fare basis, there is a DISC mentioned. So what does this DISC called? DISC means discount. Okay. So is there any discount given on the fare? That simply means there is no discount applicable. So all the fares are applicable for adult passenger. Now, how do you find out this is an adult passenger? Because if there is any discount applicable, so it shows here that type of code like CH for child, IN for infant, YTH for youth. So there are different types of the discount codes getting displayed here. Okay, understood? And beside the discount, there is a PSGR mentioned. PSGR stands as in passenger. So how many passenger types are there? There is a single type of passenger. There are no multiple types of passenger. So that's why it is showing you a passenger type 1. Okay. And beside the passenger type, there is a fare mentioned. And the fare is mentioned in which currency? Indian currency. And how much is the fare? 1,35,963 rupees. And then it is showing in the descending order. Okay. So is that clear with everyone? And all the fares have taxes inclusive fare. And how do you find out that this fare is tax inclusive? The fare is showing and the line is showing Y. So Y means yes, the fare is tax inclusive fare. So is that clear with everyone? The display is clear. All right. Now, how do I display the fare with this similar lines? How do I display my this example like this display? So how do I display? So now understand. Here there are four different fare. Now, do you see anywhere about a difference in the base fare? That means how much is the base fare applicable? How much is the taxes applicable? How much is the baggage applicable? So do you display, do you see anywhere mention about the fare breakup? No. So how do you display the fare breakup in the case of multiple fare? So remember, if you get the display like this, then only that command will be applicable. Okay. So if I am getting a multiple fares for the same class of service, I wanted to display the fare breakup. So I will simple type a command FQQ. Okay. So I wanted to display a fare breakup for the line number 2. So I will type the fare line number 2 here. If I wanted to display a fare breakup for line number 1, then I will type here 1. Is that clear with everyone? So I will simple type FQQ and line number. Done? Now I got the display for the second fare has the fare basis this for the passenger type number 1 having a fare 1,33,338 rupees. The fare is tax inclusive. Clear? Now the next line is suggesting me something. What is that next line? The next line is telling me the last ticket date, and that is 26th of June. So now, how does this 26th June comes here? How do I read the advance purchase restrictions? Because there is a line also mentioned, see advance purchase. So how do I read the advance purchase restrictions for the second fare line number? Abdul, look at the fare line number. So how do I read the advance purchase restrictions? FQN2 star AP. Or you can do one thing, FQN2 hyphen 1 star AP. Either one of them. So 2 hyphen 1 means so second fare for the first journey. So since there are both the journeys have the same fare basis, so similar will be applicable. So if I read the one of the fare basis advance purchase restrictions, the same similar will be applicable. Done. So this is how I am at my advanced reservation rules, and here you will see some lines are mentioned. Now what all the lines are mentioned, look at this part. For you to make you understand, I have already noted this one. Now what is that line mentioned? So ticketing must be completed within 3 days after the reservations are made. So the similar line is mentioned. See, ticketing must be completed within 3 days after the reservations are made, or at least 3 days before the departure. So I have mentioned the, let's look at the line. The reservation is made on 23rd of June. How will you get it checked? When is my PNR created? Let me just once again, I'm sorry about it. Let me split the screen. Now tell me, when is my PNR created? How do you confirm? This is how the date is mentioned. So now my PNR is created on which date? 23rd June. And if I add the 3 days extra, so this becomes 26th June. This is the line what is saying you here. That means ticketing must be completed within the 3 days after the reservation is made. So my reservation is made on 23rd of June, and if I have to do the within the 3 days, so how much date the date will be? 26th of June. Clear? Now the next line, look at the next line. The next line is telling you that or at least 3 days before the departure. So if I just say you, what is my departure date? Can you tell me? 15th of July? Yes or no? So if I mention here 15th of July, and if I reduce the 3 days, why I have to minus the 3 days? Because it is telling me that either I have to at least do the ticketing before the 3 days of the departure. So my departure date is 15th of July. So if what will be the 3 days before my 15th of July? 12th of July? Yes or no? Now there is one more line. Now the line is telling me whichever is earlier. So tell me, as per this line, whichever is earlier, 12th of July or 26th of July, June? 26th of June. So the same is showing you here. Understood? Yes, no? And that is why the last date of my ticketing will be 26th of June as per the point of sale. What I need to come again, Joseph? Please unmute yourself. Joseph,
Could you please repeat from the last point?
are you talking about this one?
No, not this one. The last one
Okay,
after
whichever is
3 days.
earlier.
Yes, yes, whichever is earlier.
So understand this part. So here we have already noted all the lines which are mentioned in the advance purchase. Okay. So like
Mhm.
within the 3 days of the reservations are made, so which becomes 26th of June. At least
Correct.
3 days before the departure, so which becomes 12th of June. So the line is telling that advance purchase restrictions will be applicable whichever is earlier. So whichever is earlier, the 12th of July or the 26th of June.
26th of June.
So that is the reason the last ticket date is 26th of June. And there is one more line, point of sale. So as per the point of sale, that means the India is the point of sale. So we'll consider that 26th of June as per Indian local time. Okay.
In case,
Uh,
just taking it as an example, if we are working on 27th,
we are working on.
if we are working on this ticket on 27th of June,
Uh-huh.
then this fare will get expired.
Okay, so now you are talking me that okay, if I go, I'm going to do the ticketing on 27th of June, correct?
Mhm. Yes,
Okay, now
instead of
in that
26th.
case, there are two things will happen. Listen, number one, the fare every PNR has um a validity, PNR validity. Remember that the airline
Yes,
will
yes.
give you a PNR is valid till what a certain date, and the
Till
airline will
certain.
send you an OPW or
Mhm.
OPC. Yes or no?
Yes,
Time limit.
yes.
Now, first of all, if the PNR time limit is expired, so the PNR will be cancelled.
It will
Done.
auto cancel. Yes.
Done. Now, the
Segments will
next
get
thing,
removed.
let's take an example that
Mhm.
your PNR is still live because the PNR time limit is within the time, correct?
Yes.
And you are going to do on the 27th of June as per the advance purchase restrictions. Okay, so the
Yes.
fare will be not valid, the fare will be expired. So you might get a different fare. That is the reason the fare has a certain rules and restrictions. Understood?
I'm little bit confused in that point. Like till 26, if not, then it should be before the departure date, 3 days before departure date.
So
Then
whichever is earlier. So which one is earlier?
the 26th is earlier.
That's correct. No, 26th is earlier. Of course, that's 26th is earlier. That's true. Hmm. So now understand one thing. Every fair has a certain restrictions, certain
Yes.
rules, and certain things to be applicable. So if you're not following that one and you are going to do, because let's understand one example. I'm just giving a hypothetical situations. The situation is the PNR is valid till 29th of June.
Correct. Okay.
Clear?
Mhm.
And you are going to do the ticketing on 27th of the June.
Okay.
Okay, getting my point?
Yes, yes.
So now, how do you do that ticketing? First of all, you will do a pricing command.
Mm-hmm.
So at the time of pricing, again, you will get a different advance purchase restrictions date. And if you're not going to follow this one and you are going to do the ticketing, you might get an ADN chances also.
Yes.
So the airline will send you a penalty because you are not following the restrictions or the rules which are applicable on the fare.
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Is that clear?
Clear, Naveen.
So now understand, whatever is line mentioned here, that is written as per the fares. And if you're not abide with the fare, so now do you know there are so many times what happened? I'm just going to give you an example. The OPW time, that means the PNR time limit, is expired. And if you open a PNR, let's understand this example. If you open a PNR and you saw that, okay, the segments are live, okay,
Yes.
now a lot of people do what they do. They go on the PNR. They saw, okay, the PNR is live. That means the airline has not cancelled the PNR, and they do the ticketing. Now what will happen? No matter you have done the ticketing, the airline will cancel the PNR.
Oh,
Understood?
yes, yes.
So this is called, and the next thing that the airline might send, or not might, 100% send, the airline will send you an ADM for that, that you have not followed the rules which are applicable. So you have
Yes.
to follow the rules.
Mhm.
Okay?
Yes, yes. Thank you.
Okay. So is that clear with everyone? Okay. Now let's go and talk about the other informations. Now, other information. So the advanced purchase restrictions is clear with everyone. The next thing, the airline name, Delhi, London, London, Delhi, British Airways. This is the flight number. Here is the booking class given. Here is the ticketing class given. Here is the date of travel given. This is the time of departing. This is the time of departing from here. This is the fare basis given. And there is one more line mention, one more word, NVB and NVA. So what is NVB and NVA? So the NVB and the NVA is called the not valid before, and NVA is called as not valid after. Okay. Now, what is that? So, as per the fare, every fare has a stay condition. So, every fare has a certain stay condition. Stay condition means, since you are making a PNR as a round trip journey, so if the passenger is traveling to one certain city, so there will be a certain stay conditions given. And the first line, which is showing you as NVB, is not valid before, which is called as a minimum stay condition. Now, what is this minimum stay condition? That means if it is a round trip journey, the passenger has to stay minimum number of days in that city, then they will get that particular fare. Okay, not earlier than that part. So let's go and talk about this particular fare. Okay, so one second. So let's go and talk about this particular fare. Now, if I have to read the minimum stay condition or the maximum stay condition, how do I read? Again, I will type a command FQN, because this will open the fare code notes for the fare line number 2. And if I have to read the minimum stay condition, like AP is used for advance purchase, for minimum stay condition, what is the two-letter code? MN. So I will type the same FQN star 2MN. Now, what is the minimum stay condition given here? Tell me. Not earlier than 3 days after the departure of the first flight. So that's the same thing I have mentioned. No earlier than 3 days after the departure of first flight. So tell me, what is my first flight departing date? 15th July? Yes or no? Tell me. Great. And if I add the 3 days, how much it will become? 18th July. So 18th July will be your NVB, not valid before. Okay. So passenger cannot depart from the last stopover before 18th of July. So tell me, as per this fare, is the passenger departing from the last stopover before 18th of July? Tell me. So that is why there is now. Here you might ask me a question. So why this airline has not given me a 18th of July he has mentioned. Now it depends on airline. Sometimes airline will show you the not valid before date, and sometimes the airline will show as the last departing travel date as the minimum stay. So it depends on the airline. But as per the fare rules, tell me, is is this fare valid or not valid? First of all, tell me, क्या ये fare valid है या नहीं है? Because passenger is not going to return before the 18th of July. And that is why it is a fare valid. Understood? Yes, no? Now, that is the line here I have mentioned. So the passenger cannot depart from the last stopover before 18th of July. Next, let's go and talk about the next condition. Give me 1 second. Now, let's go and read about the next condition, which is called the not valid after, which is mentioned in the fare as NVA, not valid after. So, what is this not valid after called? Maximum stay condition. And how will I open the maximum stay condition? If I have to read the maximum condition, let me type FQN 2 star MX. Now, what is this MX called? MX is the two-letter code for the maximum stay condition. Okay, so let's go and press enter. Now here, what is the maximum stay condition mentioned? 12 months. The same line is I have mentioned here. The maximum stay is 12 months. So if my travel, my last origin date, that means if I have started my journey from 15th of July, and if I add 12 months, so what will become here? 15th of July 2026 is my NVA, not valid after. So tell me, what is my not valid after showing? Hmm? How much is the not valid after showing? So is my fare valid or not? Month. Month means 12 month. So if you add 12 months from the last journey of the starting journey, so this becomes 15th of July 2026. Is that clear, Joseph? So this is how you have to go and check every conditions, because a lot of times you are not following this minimum and a maximum stay condition. You are not following the advance purchase restrictions, and that is the reason you might get an ADM from the airline. Okay, so that's why we are going to explain you each and everything from this display. Is that clear? Yes, no? Okay. Now let's go and talk about the another thing, because we have clear about the NVB and the NVA. That means the minimum stay condition and the maximum stay condition. Now tell me, how much is the baggage allowed here? That is two-piece baggage allowed. Now, the next thing comes here. So if I tell you about the two-piece, what does it mean by two-piece? So for the baggage, there are two concepts available. One is called piece concept and the other is called weight concept. Okay. Okay, let's Mohammed, Zain, and the rest of the people. Thank you so much for giving this answer. But I will give you one more information, which will give you a lot of knowledge that will not lead a wrong information to be shared with the customer. Okay, now let's focus on here. So whenever there is a piece concept given, piece concept means the airline will allow you a one piece baggage or two piece baggage or three piece baggage. So what does this mean by piece? So will I just carry a big trunk? That is also called a one piece of baggage. So the airline will restrict the passenger with a certain weight also in the concept of piece. How do I find out that, okay, if there is a one piece baggage allowed or a two piece baggage or a three piece baggage allowed, how much kg is allowed for that one piece of baggage? So as a general concept, we know that for economy there is a 23 kg, for premium economy and the business there is 32 kg one piece baggage carried. But for your confirmation, you can run one command and then you will get the information. Now, what is that command? And that command is fxy. So if you run this command, fxy, you will get the information about the, okay, just give me one second because the fare has been expired. Let me do fxx. Now, if I have to run open the fare image for this, so I will do fqqt2. Now, if I have to know about the information about the fare, that what all things are included, what all things are not included, then I will run a command fxy. Now, for which fare I wanted to know the information? The second fare, so I will type here fxy2. Okay. And here I will get the information on the the information about the entire fare. So tell me, if I have to go and find out that, okay, here is my 78,000 rupees, the current fare PNR. There are further more commands fare given here. Now, this will give you the information about upselling. That okay, if I will use this command, and if I have to upsell the fare, I will get this particular fare amount, and I will be able to get the business and the premium economy, the economy flex and the premium economy. These are the different types of the fare informations. Okay, so this is a biz cell and a premium cell. So these are the different types of fares available for upselling. Okay, but okay, I'm coming to that explanations. One second. Okay, so everybody look at here. फेयर प्लीज कंपोनेंट क्लियर कर दीजिए, कौन सा कंपोनेंट क्लियर कर दीजिए जोसेफ?
यस, सो एफ एक्स वाई में आपने वहाँ पे जो जो कॉम्पोनेंट्स वहाँ पे दिखाया था ना,
कहाँ पे?
आई थिंक या इसके बाद,
आर यू टॉकिंग अबाउट दिस वन?
या आफ्टर दैट एक्चुअली,
आफ्टर?
नो एफ एक्स वाई, देन
अच्छा,
वाई टू,
मैं अभी अभी आपको fxy बताता हूँ. I'll just explain with that part, but I will first of all let me clear about that. How do I get the information about the baggage? That okay, there is a piece concept baggage. How much kg is allowed? Okay, let me come to that part. So let me first of all again go to the FQQ2. Here I have I saw that there is a two-piece baggage allowed, and if I have to find out that how much kg is allowed for this two piece, so there is one information that if I have to find out the details about the fare, there is a command given. What is the command? FQF. Now, this command will give you the entire details about the fare. What all things are included, what all things are not included, and if there is a not included, is there is a chargeable or not chargeable, everything's about the fare information. So if I have to go and read about the fare details, I will type the command FQF. Now, for which fare I wanted to read the fare information? For the fare line number 2. So I will type FQF2. Enter. Now, the moment I type here, I will get the information. Okay, for British Airways, Delhi, London, here is the description for the standard economy. And what is included? Here is the information. Now, there is a cabin baggage. How much kgs cabin baggage is allowed? 23 kg. And what is the dimension of the cabin baggage? It should not increase this dimension. Understood? How much is the hand baggage allowed? How much is the first piece of the baggage is allowed? And how much is the second piece of the baggage is allowed? And is there any food and the bar service included in the fare? So the answer is yes. The food and the bar services is included. Satvik, what is LB? Where do you see LB? Okay, this is 51 LB is that's an international standard of the weight. 51 LB, 23 kg is equivalent to 51 LB. That's an international standard of the weight. So in India, we call it kg, gram, and something, but international, that's an LB, like 1 billion, 1 million. So here in India, 10 lakh, 1 crore, 10 crore, 20 crore. So that's the difference. Okay. International standard of weight. Is that clear? Now, what is at the charge? Here you will see the charges informations. Clear? Yes, that's called pound. Absolutely correct. Is that clear with that part? What is not offered in the fare? Here you will see. The refund after departure is not offered. The lounge access is not offered. Priority security is not offered. And a dedicated check-in zone is not offered in the fare. So you will get every information about that particular fare. Is that clear? Is it clear with everyone? Okay. Now let's talk about the another command which I have shared you, fxy. So now fxy is used to upsell the class of the service. So now there are so many times the passenger would request you that, okay, I wanted a little higher fare with little higher services to be offered. Like there are some services that priority check-in is not allowed or a priority security is not allowed. Yes or no, Joseph? So how do you find out? Because then what you need to do, you need to sell in a different class of service, then you will get the information. With the help of this command, you will get the information. And how will you get the information? You will type simple command fxy. Now, the moment you type, here you will get the list of the fares informations where you will get the top as a lowest fare. And what is the lowest fare? 78,600. This is a negotiated fare. And what is the name of the fare? It's an EcoFlex fare. So that's a fare family name. So that fare is associated with that one of the family. And this is the name of the fare family, EcoFlex fare. Now, if you wanted to upsell to a different class, here is the higher class of the upsell that is costing you 2,84,000. And the name of the fare family is business and the premium economy. Then there is one more higher fare for EcoFlex and the premium economy fare. This is another fare of EcoFlex and some other name. So this is how you will read about this. Now, FXY is always used to upsell to the higher class of the services. And this will help me to go and get on a higher fare with a higher services to be offered. Understood? Yes, no?
Yeah.
So now if you wanted to know that, okay, what all services are offered in this fare line number 2, then which command I will type here? FXU and the fare line number. This will give me itinerary rebooking command, and then I will type FQF and the line number 2 to get the information about what is now included in my fare. Okay. So this FXU is the command for rebooking. Okay. So that we will discuss about how what is rebooking and in which conditions we go and rebook that fare. Is that clear? Yes, no?
Yeah.
Okay. Now let's go and talk about the other informations. And that is fare linear. So let's go and talk about the fare linear. But before we talk about the fare linear, let's talk about the other informations. Okay. So this is a base fare. So remember, I just in the beginning I discussed about what all included in the fare? Airline fare, which is called as a base fare. So how much is the base fare here? 78,170. And apart from the base fare, there are taxes. The taxes are airline taxes, airport taxes, and the government taxes. So here you will see these are the taxes. So first tax is YQ and the another tax is YR. And apart from these two taxes, there are other taxes which are showing you here as extra taxes. So extra taxes is not a two-letter code of taxes. So extra taxes means apart from these two taxes, there are so many other taxes, and all the taxes are showing as an addition, and this is called as XT. So XT means extra taxes. Clear? Understood? Yes, no?
Yeah.
Okay. Now the next thing. The next information is, how do I find out the extra taxes breakdown? Of course, I'm going to take you tell you about. Now, the extra taxes breakdown is just giving on the right hand side beside the YQ. Do you see there is an XT mentioned? So this is the extra taxes information. And the first extra taxes information is IN tax, K3 tax, P2 tax, the GB tax, and the UB tax. Understood? Is that clear? Yes, no.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm coming to that part. Just give me 1 second. Let me just go one by one. So is that clear with everyone? Any question? Great. Next, after understanding this part, that okay, there is a base fare, there are so many taxes given, and the addition of all the extra taxes, that means all the extra taxes which are showing you on the right hand side, is the sum of showing you here as an XT. So if you add, open your calculator, add 1092 54553 12229 108486 and this UB, you will see the sum A will come as 24,286 as an extra tax. Is that clear? And all the base fare and the taxes are showing you here as a sum 1,33,338 rupees. And this is fare is applicable in the INR. Clear? Yes, no? Okay. Now let's go and talk about the other information. Now, what are the other information? So a lot of people have asked me, what is K3? What is this IN? What is this YQ, YR? So the YQ and the YR is the fuel tax, or you can say the fuel taxes applicable. Okay, fuel surcharges or the fuel taxes applicable. Clear? But apart from these two taxes, there are the other extra taxes showing you as an IN, K3, and P2. And you wanted to know that, okay, what is this K3 tax means? What is this IN tax means? UB tax means? So I told you in the beginning that whenever there will be an tax, so there are so many taxes inclusive. That is airline taxes, airport taxes, and the government taxes. So if you wanted to know the information about the tax, there is a command which is FQN tax. Okay. And if you wanted to know the tax information for any country specific, because the flight is using two different countries. One is India and the other is Great Britain. Yes or no? So definitely the taxes will be applicable of as per the Indian laws and as per the Great Britain laws. So all the taxes as per the Indian airport taxes or the Great Britain airport taxes. So how will I get to know that which all taxes are applicable in the India country and which all the taxes are applicable in the Great Britain? So then I will use simple /in. This two-letter country code will give me the tax information about India. Let's go and read it. Now you will see there is an IN tax two-letter code. And what is the reason of this IN tax to be collected from the customer? This is user development fee departure. And somebody was asking me, what is K3? So you can read about the K3. Now, what is this K3? Goods and Service Tax, which is GST. Understood about this information? Now let me ask you a question. I wanted to know the tax information about Great Britain. Tell me the command to get the information about tax information on Great Britain country. FQN tax /GB. UK is not the two-letter code. GB is the two-letter code. Great Britain. Okay. So that's the United Kingdom. And you will see what is this GB tax, two-letter tax code collected for? Air passenger duty. There is a UB also, which is called as an passenger service charge departure or the arrival also. Okay. So did you notice there was a GB tax and there was a UB tax? So these two taxes are applicable for which airport? The London airport. So clear? Okay. Now let's talk about the other information. So I wanted to know about more details on any one of the taxes. Like I wanted to know, okay, which one tax is refundable, which one tax is non-refundable, or is that taxes applicable on arrival only or the departure only, or is that taxes applicable at specific airports? So for any specific tax information, if you wanted to read, you simply type the commands, this one, for which country that you wanted to read the tax information, and then put a slash and the two-letter tax code. Let me read about K3. This is how you will get the information. Now, if you wanted to read many more details, there are 40 pages given. Go and read MD and read about these informations. There are so many lines given about the particular tax code. Okay, whichever the tax code that you have entered and get the information. Is that clear? Yes, no? Okay, now let's go and quickly discuss about. So is that clear with everyone? Base fare, the taxes, and what is this XT called? Is that clear with everyone? Any question? Anything that you wanted to ask me? Because now I'm going to discuss about one very important thing, which is about fare linear. No question? Okay, now let's go and discuss about a fare linear. Now, just above the XT, there is a information mentioned about fare linear, or we call it as fare construction. That means how the airline has, or how the airline is charging with the customer. So whatever the information is given, that has a meaning. So let me first of all copy this in and let me paste in my notepad. And and let me copy this here. This is the entire fare linear informations. So let me delete this travel date. So this is the entire fare linear, or you can say the fare calculation informations. Okay. So let's break out and let's understand how the base fare is calculated, because the base fare information is calculated based on this fare linear. All right. And this is very, very important. So always remember, whatever the base fare is showing you here, that is calculated based on this fare linear. All right. Is that clear? So let's go and discuss about and let's understand about the fare breakdown in that. So how much is the base fare given? Tell me. As per my example, 78170. So let me type 78170. Clear? Now, if you notice, there is one more thing given. Between Delhi to London, how much is the fare? This is the information. Delhi to London, there is a queue surcharge, which is 14.00, and there is 447.45 is the fare value. So let me copy them. And then there is another queue surcharge for Delhi, for London to Delhi in British Airways. There is another queue surcharge which I have mentioned. And again, there is 447.45. So let me mention. So this is how for Delhi, London and London, Delhi, there is a queue surcharge as 14.00 and 47.4745 and 447.45. Now, understand one thing. Uh, as a travel agent, you are sitting in India. So there are so many other travel agents who are sitting in different part of the world. Yes or no? And the same airline is traveling to different part of the world as well. So the British Airways is not only traveling to London, they might be traveling to New York, they might be traveling to the Australia. Yes or no? So do you think that the same currency will be applicable to any part of the world? So there are different countries, then different countries have the different currencies. Clear? So just to overcome with the complexity of the currency, the IATA did one thing, that is IATA introduced a currency that is or not a currency, it's a virtual currency, and that is called as NUC, which is the full form is neutral unit of construction. Okay, that means whenever the fare will be calculated, the fare will not be calculated in any local currency, that will be calculated as a nukes. So between Delhi to London, there is a fare in nukes as 447.45, and London to Delhi again 445.45. Yes or no? This is the fare in nukes. Apart from the fare, the airline has charged you a queue surcharge. So now you might ask me a question. So apart from the fare, what is this queue surcharge? So remember I talked to you about in the beginning that in the fare there is a base fare, there are taxes plus the surcharges. Now what is surcharge? So surcharge is the airline fare, but it is not a part of a fare. It is an additional fee added to the ticket price. Now, why the airline will add the surcharges to the as an additional fee? So that there are so many reasons. The fuel charges gets hiked. That's the one of the reason. There will be a security surcharge gets increased. That will be not be added. There will be some other airport taxes gets introduced. So these are the certain reasons due to which airline will add a surcharge, and that surcharge will be shown in the fare linear. Okay, yes or no? So how this 14.00 becomes the fare surcharge for this fare? How do I get the information? Again, in the fare rules, that is mentioned. How do I open the surcharges rules in the fare for this fare? Let me divide the screen, and I'm going to type a command FQN 2 star, and to read about the surcharge, that two-letter code is SU, and let me press enter. Now let me do MD, and you will read the information. One second. Now, do you see that there is a line mentioned? What is that line telling me? Tell me, what is that line? That is originating area 3. So now what is this originating area 3? That means if a flight which is starting from any traffic conference area number 3, that means that country lies in the traffic conference area number 3, this surcharge will be applicable. And how much is the surcharge applicable? 14.00, and this will not be applicable on one fare. This will be applicable on the per fare component. So Satwik, the traffic conference area means the world has been divided into three different traffic conferences: TC1, TC2, TC3. So those countries which are lying on the on a world map, lying on the right hand side, so that is called TC1. And so if you wanted to read more about the information, that's the reason I told you, Satvik, to join our basic ticketing classes, where a basic session where you will get these informations. Okay. So that's the information. Originating area is 3, so there will be a surcharge applicable. So India lies in the TC3. How do I get to know? Let me type the command DC India. Now you will see that the India lies in which TC, which area? That's traffic conference 3. Okay, that is the reason there is a 14 US dollar per fare component. Now what does this per fare component? So there are two fare components. One is for the outbound and the other is for the inbound. And that is why you will see this 14.00. Now you might ask me a question, sir. There is a mention $14. Why there is a 14.00 mentioned? Why there is a 14.00 mentioned? Because the one NUC is equivalent to 1 US dollar. So the 14 NUC is equals to 14 US dollar. Understood? So 14 US dollar means 14 NUC, and that's why there is mentioned as NUC 14.00 and the return as 14.00. Per fare component means Delhi London as a one fare component and London Delhi is another fare component, and that's why it is mentioned as a 14.00 two times. Now let's add these values with the calculator quickly. 14.00 plus 9995 point sorry Uh, 447.45. How much it becomes? 461.45. 461.45. And the similar will be for the return one, 461.45. Is that clear? So this is the total of the fare Delhi London, London Delhi in nukes. Now, the fare Delhi London, London Delhi base fare is, if you see the total NUC, let me do, let me add the total 461.45. How much is the total fare? Delhi London, London Delhi 922.99. 922.90. Now, if you see that same thing, did you notice here and the total NUC? Yes, no? Tell me. So this is the total information of the fare in nukes, 922.90. And this is equivalent in the US dollar. Now, since the NUC is one NUC is equivalent to 1 US dollar, which means 922.90 NUC is equivalent to how much dollar? Tell me. 922.90, because 1 NUC is equals to 1 US dollar. So 922.9 NUC is equals to 922.990 US dollar. Now, the total NUC is to multiply with the IATA rate of exchange. And the IATA rate of exchange will be applicable based on the country of commencement. So tell me, what is my country of commencement? So we are from India. So IATA rate of exchange will be applicable for which country? India or the other country? India. So always remember, the IATA rate of exchange will be applicable as per the origin. So my city of origin is Delhi, India. So the IATA rate of exchange will be applicable for India. Now, how do I get the IATA rate of exchange? What is the command to get the IATA rate of exchange? Here is the command. FQA. Let me divide this screen. FQA and India. Now, for one NUC, what is the IATA rate of exchange? 84.69515. Now, if I open my notepad and if I show you, did you notice the rate of exchange which is already mentioned here in the fare linear? 84.695145. Yes, no? So, what I will have to do? We'll have to multiply this total NUC with the IATA rate of exchange. You will get the amount. So let me do this one. 84.695155 multiplied with the 922.90. Yes, no? How much it becomes? 78175, and let me mention here. 78165 point this one. And this fare is coming in which currency? In Indian currency. That's an INR. Why? Because the IATA rate of exchange is always getting converted with the country of commencement. as per the country of commencement. So if you round off, if I do this round off entry, how much it becomes? And how do you find out the round off entry also? So the round off entry is also given here. As per the India country, what is the rounding up to? What is the rounding up here? So the rounding up is up to 5 INR. So if you see, if I round up to the 5 INR, which means that which one is the closer as per the 7 8 here. So if you see that 78170. So let's round up it to the next 5 multiple. So 78165 becomes 78170. 78170. So the next rounding up is to the multiple of 5, and this is how the fare is 78770. This is how the base fare being calculated. Is that clear? Yes, no? Okay. Is that clear? Or you can do one more thing. There is another command which will convert the NUC into the local currency. And that is, let me do this 922.90. If I simply type the same command, FQC further converted into the Indian rupees. So what will happen? This is given also rounded off as a fare. So whichever is suitable, that will, if you do this command, you will get the same base fare value. Did you see this one? Yes, no? So if you don't want it to get confused with the rounded up values, you can simply go and type this command and get this answer. And the system will give you the rounded as fare value. Okay? Is that clear? Any questions from any one of you? How do you find out the surcharge that I have already given you the information? And why the surcharge is applicable? Is it clear with everyone? Any question? Is there any question? I'm waiting for the question, guys. Any question? No question? All clear? Neutral unit of construction. Clear? Thank you, Sonali. So is this clear with everyone? Now I am done with the fare display command. Definitely, let's go and complete a few commands. These are very small commands, and then we'll go and take a break. Okay. How to check FQF command? Thank you, Sonali. Okay. Now,
नितिन सर कृपया इस पेज को जरा रहने दीजिए तो लिख रहे हैं
sorry.
काइंडली सर पेज को रहने दीजिए थोड़ा लिख रहे हैं
Sorry, I'm not able to hear you properly.
He is saying just keep this page, Naveen. He is making notes.
Okay. Okay, no problem. I will send you the chat in the chat box also. Okay. Now, can I start with the next part? Next topic of that itinerary pricings command. Okay. Now, whenever we do fxx, I will be able to find out the fare as a published fare. Now, fxx will help you to perform the command segment wise, passenger wise. So how do I find out? Let's take an example. This is a round trip journey. I wanted to find out the fare for only one way journey. So then how will I find out the fare for the one way journey? fxx slash the segment number 2. This will give me the fare for one way journey. If there are multiple passengers in the PNR and you wanted to price as per the passenger wise, you can do fxx slash p1. Now for more help and for more commands, there is a help page also given. You simply type the command hefxx and there you will see so many entries related with the segment wise, fare breakpoint wise, and there are other informations related to that. The other expanded parameters are given there. So you can go and use those commands and get the informations. All right, is that clear? Now let's go and talk about two commands so that we are clear with the fare topic. Now these two commands are, whenever we do fxx entry, it will always give me a published fare. But I wanted to find out the fare for the negotiated fare. How will I find out the fare, negotiated fare? With the help of command only the negotiated fare applicable. So let me open a PNR here. This is a PNR. Now, if I wanted to find out the only negotiated fare, I will type fxx slash r comma u. The moment I type this command, I will be able to get the negotiated fare. How did you confirm this is a negotiated fare? There you will see a header nego. This means this is a negotiated fare. Okay, and rest of the informations will be the similar one. Is that clear? Yes, no? All right. Now, how do I find out the fare for the corporate fare? So if I have a if I wanted to find out a corporate fare code, I will simply type fxx slash r comma u followed by the corporate code. So xxx means the corporate code to be mentioned, like ABC123, ABCXYZ. So these are the corporate codes. For an example, you type the corporate code and you will get displayed the corporate fare on the screen. For my system, for my fare, office ID, there is no corporate fare code applicable, so I will not be able to do so. Is that clear with everyone? All right. Now, we are done with this itinerary pricings command. After that, we will start with the best prices command, and then we'll go ahead with the ticketing one. So let's take a 10 minutes break. So as per my laptop, it is 11:51. So let's take 11:52, break till 12:03. Once again. All right, so let's begin the session. So is everybody present? Yes, no? Because I can see only 3, 4 people have responded. All right. Now, Now we have discussed about the command which will give me the booked class of itinerary fare. But there are few commands which are helpful for you to find out the best prices command. And that command is FXR. So a lot of people are typing the command FXR, 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 right? So the FXR will give you the lowest available fare, and it will not only give you the lowest available fare, it will rebook you to that lowest available class of service. Yes or no? So let's take an example. If I have to rebook my this PNR to the lowest available fare, so then what command I will type here? Tell me. Then what command I will type here to get rebooked to the lowest available fare? Then I will type the command FXR. Clear? Now there is another command. Somebody was telling me an FXB command. So the FXB is a command to rebook and TST creation command. So we will discuss this once I will start with the topic TST creations. Okay. So let's start with the next topic about the ticketing informations. And I'm going to start about the first topic. How do we issue a ticket for a booked itinerary? Okay. So for that, first of all, we need to understand something information about the ticketing. Ticketing means there are two different there are two stages in the Amadeus. Now, number one stage is once we create a PNR. Number two, after creating a PNR, we will go for the ticketing. Yes or no? So now, if you see here, the PNR has already been created. Yes or no? Now, if the customer agreed with that PNR and the fare which I have given him, and we are going for the next stage, that is for the ticketing. So how do we start with the ticketing? So there are few informations which as a travel agent you should know about it before going for the ticketing. Now what are those informations? So the first information about the help page on the electronic ticketing, because we all are doing the electronic ticketing. So what, how do I find out the help page on the electronic ticketing? So there is a help page, and that is HEETT. This will give me the electronic ticketing help pages. Okay, got my point? Yes, no? Now the next information. The next information is if you wanted to find out the information about e-ticketing local guidelines, because here you will get the information about the e-ticketing, information about the airline specific e-ticketing policies, but I wanted to know the information about e-ticketing local guidelines. Local guidelines means as per the India country, what are the guidelines? As per the Lanka country, what are the local guidelines? So then the command will be GGAMAINTKT. Oh, sorry, ETT. This will give me the local ticketing guidelines, that which command will be used and what are the systems, how does the ticketing processing started, all such informations are given. Okay, is that clear? Yes, no? Now the next command will give you the information about the list of airlines which are participating in the BSP India plan. So now you might ask me a question, sir, what is BSP? So BSP is the billing settlement plan, which helps the travel agent and the airlines in settling the charges. So suppose you have to make a payment of 1 lakh rupees to the airline as a travel agent. So this will not directly send to the airlines from your. There is a BSP who helps in settling the remittance between the travel agent and the airline. Okay, let's take there is a refund of 1 lakh rupees coming from the airline to the travel agent. So that airline will not directly send to the travel agent. The airline will send the money to the BSP, and the BSP will send the money to the travel agent. So this is a third party which helps the remittance settlement between airlines and the travel agency. Is that clear? Yes, no? Okay, so there are so many airlines who all are um, operating in India. So how do I see the all list of airlines which are participating in the BSP India plan? That means who is a part of the BSP India plan, who that airline will help and settle the remittance between the airlines and the travel agents. So how do I find out the list? The command will be TGBD hyphen the IN. This is the name of the airline where, as per the India country, these are the airlines which are participating. Understood? Yes, no? Next. Now, if there are so many airlines which are available in the India BSP plan, but are those all airlines allowed to be done e-ticketing in India or not? How do I get to know which all airlines are allowed to be done in e-ticketing? The command will be TGETD hyphen IN. Okay? TGETD hyphen IN. So let me do this. TGETD hyphen IN. This command will give me the electronic ticketing carriers as per the India country. So these are the list of airlines which allows the electronic ticketing to be issued in the India country. Understood? Yes, no? Now, there is another command which will help you to see the interline agreement within the airlines. Now, what is interline agreement? So the interline agreement means that with the let me show you one example, and then with the help of that example, you will understand it very well. Just 1 second, let me retrieve that PNR. Okay, this is the PNR. Now tell me, how many different airlines are available in the PNR? Tell me yes, no. So there are two different airlines, British Airways and American Airlines. Great. Now, if I have to issue and if I wanted to issue the tickets on that particular PNR, so and I wanted to issue a single ticket number. I don't wanted to issue two different ticket numbers because there are two different airlines. So I can issue two different ticket numbers, but I wanted to issue a single ticket number. How do I issue? Can I or will I be able to issue the tickets of British airline on the American Airlines? Yes or no? So then I have to run a command and get it checked that whether there will be an interline agreement between the British Airways or the American Airlines or not. How do I do so? Then you need to run the command tgad-in. Now let me type the British Airways code. XX means I wanted to see that British airline have the interline agreement with which of all the airlines. So here you will see the airlines having agreement with the British Airways. And now the top is the American Airlines. On the top, there is an American airline. So which means, yes, I can issue or I can uh, get it ticketed of the British Airlines because the British Airline have an interline agreement with the American Airlines. Yes or no? Now, what is this TPETD? So these are the meaning of whether it is D is called as an EMD, E is called as an electronic ticket, T is some meanings. So if you wanted to read all those meanings, here you will go HETGAD, and then you will simply open the command, the page MS106, and let me do MD. And here you will see the informations about those codes. What does this T stands? Ticketing. P stands. TE stands electronic ticketing. D stands EMD. So if I simply scroll up, or I will simply run the same command, here you will see that British Airline have an interline agreement to be done for the EMD issuance, for the electronic ticketing to be done, or I can do the ticketing also on the British Airlines and the American Airlines. Is it understood? So the simple line I have already mentioned, if you notice, that I have created a PNR for Delhi London in American Airlines, and if these airlines have the e-ticketing agreement, I will be able to price and issue one ticket. So let me first of all price it. So how will I price the PNR? FXX. If I do the FXX command and I got a single fare, and this single fare is called a through fare. So that's the same line is mentioned. Both airlines will allow me through this through check-in and through baggage. So that means it's a through baggage fare, which means the air passenger will be checked in at Delhi airport and get the baggage at John F. Kennedy airport. And he will get a single boarding pass. That's the through check-in and through baggage fare called. Understood? Is it understood? Yes, no?
Could you please repeat again, ma'am? Sir,
Sorry?
could you please repeat it again?
Okay. I'm going to repeat it again. So, one second. What is your name? Abdul? Who is asking this question? Satvik or Abdul? Okay. Abdul. So, Abdul,
Yes.
tell me, how many airlines are there? There are two different airlines in the PNR. Yes, no?
Yes.
Sorry?
Yes, there are two different airlines, British and American.
Okay. So, British and American Airlines. Now, if I have to price the PNR, the command will be FXX.
Yes.
So, here, the moment I price, and if I get a single fare, or you can say a through fare, uh, here, if I am getting a single fare, or here I am getting a through fare. Let's see about that. How many fare bases are there? There is a single fare basis. So it means there are two different fares, Nishani, but there is a single fare basis. So if it is a true single fare basis for both the airline, this means that it is a through fare. So let me do FQQ1 and then you will see the information. So see, Delhi, London, London, New York, is the fare basis changing? Tell me yes, no. So this means it's a through fare. Understood? Yes, no? So which means that I will be allowed or I can do the ticketing on this PNR on a single fare or on a single airline. So how will I get it checked that whether the airline is allowing me to do the ticketing? Because it is not allowed to do the ticketing of British airline on the American Airlines document or on the American Airlines document of the British Airlines ticket. Yes or no? So that can be checked with this command. One second. TGBAD and the BA. This means that the British airline have the agreement with American Airlines. So they allow me to do the electronic ticketing. That means I am getting a through fare. The airline is allowing me the electronic ticketing issuance. So I can go ahead and do this ticketing. And the same is I have mentioned here that this is Delhi, London, London, New York, American Airlines. And if these airlines have e-ticket agreement, that means there is an e-ticketing agreement. And if I'll be able to get a price for one ticket for both the airlines, it will allow me through check-in and through baggage. So here I have already performed a screenshot also. And here I'm getting a live example of the Lima class. Understood, Abdul? Yes, and you need to check the interline agreements as well. That whether the airlines is allowing you to do the interline agreements or not, then you will be able to issue the tickets. Otherwise, you might not get the fare, or if you get the fare, then you are not allowed to go ahead and do the ticketing. Okay, clear? Satvik, is this clear? Okay. What I need to do once again, tell me. Zayan, please unmute yourself. Zayan? Okay, you did not understand it completely. Okay, Zayan, tell me, how many airlines are there? Zayan, answer my question. Okay, so if I wanted to issue the tickets on a single document means on a single airline, will I be allowed? Will the airline allow you to do the ticketing of American Airlines on the British Airlines document? Tell me, do you go and issue the tickets in such a way that there are two PNRs, you issue one tickets of on there are two different airlines and you issue one the one ticket number for both the airlines? So which means, okay, very nice. Now the next question. So the next question is that first of all, I would like to check that, okay, can I or is the airline allowing me to do the ticketing of the American Airlines on the British Airlines document or not, or vice versa. That means American Airlines document number on the British Airlines. So how will I check that? Whether the airlines have an interline agreement. So how will I go and check the interline agreement? Here you will run this command and get this interline agreement. Till this part, Zan, clear? And you will see that American Airlines have an interline agreement done. Now, if the airline have an interline agreement, then, and if I am going to do the fxx command, and if I am opening the fare image copy, and if I am looking and if I am checking that a single fare basis for both the journeys, that means Delhi, London, London, Delhi, London, New York. How many different fare bases are coming? Zayan, tell me. 2 fare bases? Zayan, are there 2 fare bases? That's now. If I am getting a single fare basis for both the airlines, British Airlines and the American Airlines. If you see, here is the British Airlines and American Airlines. And if the airline have an interline agreement, which simply means they will allow you the through check-in. Understood? Yes, no? So is it clear? And through check-in means through baggage. That's the reason it is called through check-in, through baggage fare. For 2 different airlines, getting a single fare. Clear? Is it clear, Zayan? Now? All right. Now let's go and talk about the another command. And that command is to show the list to see the interline agreement between 2 airlines. If you wanted to see the interline agreement between 2 airlines, so you can run simple the command. So if I wanted to know TG AD hyphen BA slash American Airlines. So this will only show me the list of airlines agreement with the British airline, and it will not show me all the list of airlines. It will show me only the agreement between American Airlines and the British Airlines. Is that clear? The next command, which is very, very important for all of you. So please pay attention. Everybody pay attention here. That command is, now we have checked so many airlines are available in the BSP India plan. So many airlines are allowing you the e-ticketing in the India market. But as a travel agent, are all these airlines allowed to be issued by the particular travel agency or not? Because can I issue all the airlines which are operating in India market? So the answer would be yes or no. Now, there is a command which will help you to find out all the list of airlines which are authorized for the ticketing for your office ID. So right now I am performing this command and I am getting the response for my office ID. Similarly, you can do in your office ID and you will get the list of authorized ticketing carriers. And here you will see a long list of authorized ticketing carrier. Understood? Yes, no? Is that clear? Is that clear with everyone? All right. Now, what is code? Where is code mentioned? Where do you see code, Nishani? Nishani? 1A. This is Amadeus. Office ID. This is some AMID, which is for the internal purpose to understand. This is a code for this office ID. Okay. So this is nothing for the travel agency's purpose. Only you need to check the list of the authorized ticketing carriers. Are you talking about this one? 1A, this is Amadeus corporate office ID. So that's why it is showing starting with 1A. If you have an office ID, so then you might have Dell VS. You must have registered in your Zoom session with office ID. So you have entered Dell VS, or you might have entered Dell MT. So someone, 1A stands as an Amadeus corporate ID. Thank you so much, Sonali. Clear? Okay, now I am going to retrieve one PNR, and I wanted to wanted to know the answer from everybody. One second, let me retrieve that particular PNR. Now, tell me, the PNR is for which airline and from where to where? Joseph, your question will be how to check interline agreement. I have already given you the command. TGAD hyphen and the name of the airline. If you wanted to check with another airline slash and the airline code, I have already shown you this command here. Okay. Now, this is London this is London, New York, 10th of July, Iberian Airlines. Okay, next. The next thing is, now tell me, as a travel agent, am I allowed or can I issue the tickets of the Iberian Airlines? What needs to be checked first of all, and then we'll go ahead and proceed with the ticketing. Tell me. So first of all, I will check that, okay, for my office ID, is the Iberian Airlines allowed to be issued? Tell me yes or no. So how will I check whether Iberian Airline is allowed for the issuance or not? PVA slash LAT. Enter it. Tell me, do you see anywhere Iberian Airlines name mentioned here in the list of authorized ticketing carrier? No. Okay, it might be possible that for my office ID it is not allowed. But let's check that is that Iberian Airlines participating in the electronic ticketing in the India country. So how do I check the list of airlines which are participating in the BSP India plan electronic ticketing? The command will be TGETD hyphen IN. Now check whether Iberian Airlines is there. Do you see the Iberian Airlines? Okay. Now check that, okay, whether the airline is participating in the BSP India plan or not. And I'll type the command TGBD hyphen IN, and let me check the final one. Is that airline participating in the BSP India plan? Nowhere. No? Then Then what should we do? Should we say no, we are not allowed to issue the tickets? So in that condition, what exactly happened? That airline has given us a certain rights that to a general sales agent. So what airline will do that, okay, they, if that the airline is not participating in that particular country as a participating carrier, so then what they will do, they send or they allowed a different airline, or they give you a certain airlines rights as a general sales agent, and on their document number the PNR can be ticketed. So how will I get to know that for Iberian Airline, is there any general sales agent? And to check with that, there is a command which is TGGSD and the country code. Because for India country, I wanted to know which are the sales agent available. So this will not give me only for Iberian Airlines. This command will give me the list of all the airlines have a general sales agent. Let's do this. And for India country, there are general sales agents available. Now, on the left hand side, these are the two-letter airline codes. They are the general sales agent. And on the right hand side, these are the airlines whose general sales agents are. Okay. So for Iberian Airline, which is the general sales agent, British Airways. Yes or no? So now I can issue the PNR on which airlines document number? British Airlines of the Iberian Airlines. Now, whenever I'm talking about a British Airlines document number, which means my validating carrier will be British Airline and ticket number will start with 125 always. Understood? So this is my information about ticket document number. So is it clear? Now, but remember, if you are going to issue the ticket of Iberian Airline on the British Airlines document number, you need to take permission from Iberian Airlines and the British Airlines. You need to inform the British Airlines, because British Airline is a authorized ticketing carrier for my office ID, so I can go ahead. So I will call the airline and get it informed that okay, I'm going to issue a ticket of Iberian Airlines on your document number, and the same information to the Iberian Airlines that I am going to issue a ticket of of your airlines on the British Airways document number. Is that clear? Yes, no? Okay. All right. Now we are done with the ticketing general informations about it. Now we are going to start with the mandatory and the optional elements for the ticket issuance. Okay, because we are done with all the informations to be find out. How do I find out those informations, whether the ticket it is allowed or not? Such informations we have already read it. Now let's go and start with the ticketing process. Okay, so is that clear? So can we start with the ticketing process? Great. And for that, let's pull out one PNR. First of all, let me retrieve one PNR. This is a PNR for Singapore Airlines. Now, As all of you know, to create a PNR, there are 5 mandatory elements. Yes or no? Which is called as a print. Everybody knows this thing? Okay. Now, similarly to that, to issue any PNR, there are some mandatory and the optional elements for the ticket issuance. Okay. And now what are the mandatory and the optional elements? Here it is mentioned. There are 3 mandatory elements for the ticket issuance and 1 optional element. So which we will discuss it and then later on. So the first mandatory element will be the PNR must have the current date TST. Okay. Yes or no? And how will I create a TST? How will I check that the TST is done there for the PNR or not? Tell me, is the TST created for my PNR? Everybody is giving me the answer, but check whether the TST is created. How did you confirm? There will be a TST generated beside the RLR. There is no TST means there is no mention TST. That means the TST is not generated. Okay, if there will be a TST there, then we will do TQT command to check whether the TST is of current date or not. So first of all, we will do the command FXP to display the fare and create a TST. So let's go and do FXP. Yes or no? So it will display me the fare. And if I do RT, now tell me, is the TST created? Yes or no? So this is how you will get it confirmed. All right. Now there are other commands also given, like FXP will create the TST in the published fare. Similarly, if you wanted to create a TST for the negotiated fare, then you type FXP/R, or if you wanted to create a TST for the corporate fare, you will simply type FXP/R, in the corporate code. Is it clear? Yes, no? Okay, now I wanted to ask a question from everybody. Once again, let me retrieve that PNR and I wanted to answer. I wanted to get the answer from everybody. Now tell me, if is the PNR have a TST? Now I wanted to create a TST for the negotiated fare. How will I create a TST for the negotiated fare? Tell me the command. FXP/R, U. So simply go FXP/R, U. Okay. Is that clear? This is how you will create a TST for the negotiated fare. Similarly, for the corporate fare also, you will do the similar. Clear? Now, let's come to now the TST is created. So let's go and talk about that. How do I display a TST? So if the TST is created, we'll do the TQT command to display the TST. Yes or no? Because if there is a TST flag there, then we will do TQT to display the TST. Now, this is how the TST is displayed with the TST number, the office ID, the date, and the TST indicator. This indicator is called as an FCPI, fare calculation pricing indicator. Okay. Yes, no? Now, what is this fare calculation pricing indicator? how the fare is calculated. So if the fare is calculated through automation, that means automatically the indicator will show I0. Okay. If the fare calculated through manually, instead of I0, you will see M0 or M9. So whenever it shows M, it means that the fare is created through manually. And whenever you see the TST is created with I, this means the fare is created automatically. Is that clear? Yes, no? So I have already mentioned you to understand about the this information. Now, if you wanted to know about more information on these FCPI values, here is the command, help command, which will give you the information on the FCPI values. You can go ahead and read about those FCPI values. Okay, is that clear? Yes, no? Or you can simply type the command HEFCPI and you will see the list of FCPI values. If you wanted to read the explanations, if you wanted to see the values explanations, if you wanted to see the pricing indicators explanations, you go ahead and read about these things. Okay. So whenever it is I, it is called as an automatically priced. Otherwise, you will see M means manually priced. Now, what is the difference between automatically priced and manually? So automatically priced means the fare is going to be guaranteed by Amadeus. Okay. Yes, no? And if the fare is not calculated or if the fare is not with an automation, it is manually, that fare is not guaranteed by Amadeus. That is the difference between automation, automatic fare and manual fare. Okay. Yes, no? All right. The next information, which is very good information, is that okay, are all the fares guaranteed? If it is showing I0, so are all the fares guaranteed, or is that Amadeus going to guarantee all the fares? So how do I read that which all fare will be guaranteed by the Amadeus? How does the Amadeus help desk people will verify or will go and investigate your PNR that whether the fare qualifies for the guarantee or not? So there is a command, and that command is ggamainTkt. And there you will see a line, Amadeus guarantee on auto fare pricings. And if you go and use this MS-106, you will see the Amadeus fare guarantee policy. If I just do MD, here you will see, to identify if the ticketed fare might qualify for the guarantee, these are the following conditions. So the first condition, the indicator should be I and the fail code should be 0. So remember, there was an I0 mentioned. Yes or no? So that is why we say that this is an Amadeus guaranteed indicator. Now, apart from that, you might see different indicators also. And those also are called as a guaranteed indicator. What all those indicators? The first indicator is for private fare. You will see the indicator IF. And if I do MD, you will see the indicator FN. FN is for the negotiated fare. So once I will talk about the negotiated fare, then I will show you the FN in. Then there will be a net remit, and that indicator will be IZ. Understood? So these also indicators will you see apart from the I0, which is also called as a Amadeus guaranteed fare indicator. Is that clear? Yes, no? Everybody, is that clear? All right. Now, apart from this I0, there is one line mentioned LD. Now, what is this LD? Remember, we were talking about advanced purchase restriction. So here is the same thing, last date of ticketing. Yes. So this is how it is mentioned in the TST. And then there is an OD mentioned. OD stands as an origin destination. So my origin is Delhi and my destination is also Delhi. That's why it is mentioned OD. Now, through which command we have created the TST? The command is FXP. So if you have used any other command for TST creation, you will see the similar command is showing you here. FXP slash R comma U. If you have used FXB command, you will see the FXB here. Is that clear? So through which of the command we have created the TST, the same command I have used, you will see in the TST. See? Clear? This is my name, and here is the first part of the TST. And the first part of the TST is itinerary part. And in the itinerary part, you will see the segment Delhi, Singapore, Singapore, Delhi. Is that clear? If it shows FN means it's a negotiated fare. Thank you so much, Sonali. Now let's focus on here. So from Delhi to Singapore, Singapore to Delhi, before the Singapore, there is O mentioned. What does this O sign? O means this is a stopover. So the passenger is stopping at Singapore. No, it's not open means O, this O stands in open. This O stands as a stopover indicator. Okay, if it is not a stopover, it will show X. Absolutely correct, Abhijit. So this is why this is called as a stopover indicator. Singapore Airlines flight number, class of service, departing and arriving, departure time and arrival time. And here you will see the fare basis. Apart from the fare basis, you will see the not valid after and not valid before, NVB and NVA. This is the baggage information. Clear? Is it clear? Everybody, please focus here. All right. Now, after the TST first part, the TST has a second part. Please remember that part. So the TST has a first part, which has an itinerary. The TST has a second part as base fare and the taxes part. How will you identify this is a base fare? So the base fare have an indicator F. That means it's a first time issued and a first time created fare having a base fare amount 27,300, and the taxes indicator X means to be paid taxes. So these are the taxes which are going to be paid by the customer, and that's why it is showing as an X indicator. Is that clear? And here you will see the total and the grand total. So this is the TST as a second part. First part itinerary, second part base fare plus the taxes and total grand total. The third part of the TST is fare linear, the fare construction part. Remember we discussed about at the time of fare, this is the same is going to be stored and same is going to be shown in the TST also. Is that clear? Yes, no? All right. So this is how the TST looks like. All right. Now, anyone have any questions related to how to display the TST? And in the TST display, what all the informations are there? Can you tell me how many parts are there in the TST? How many parts are there in TST? First part, itinerary. No two part, Abhijit. There are three parts. First part is the itinerary. Second part is the only base fare and the taxes plus total and grand total. The third part is fare linear. So how many parts? Three parts. Is that clear? All right. So how do I display the TST? TQT. Now, if you have a multiple TST, so how will you use to display the multiple TST? The command will be TQT slash T1. T1 stands as a TST number. So tell me, for my example, what is the TST number? TST number 1. If there is a TST number 2, so how do I display the TST number 2 with the command? Tell me the command. TQT, no, TQT slash T2. Please use the complete command, okay? Absolutely correct. Done? Now, similarly, how do you delete the TST? Because in cases, you don't want to keep the TST here. You wanted to delete this TST. And after deleting the TST, you wanted to store a new TST. So how do you delete the TST? Absolutely correct, Nishani. TTE slash all. So now, what will happen with TTE slash all? Nishani, tell me. This will delete all the TST. All the TST. But if in case I wanted to delete only TST number 1, then tell me. Then I will type absolutely correct, Abhijit, TTE slash T1 to delete the TST number 1 only. So is that clear with commands? Any questions related to the TST? All right. So we are done with the first mandatory element, which is we have to create a TST. And the TST should be always a current date. Sorry, here. The current date. So TST should not be a past dated. Because if it is a past dated, you will not be allowed to issue the tickets. So that's why it is very much specifically mentioned current date TST. Is that clear? So which means if I have to do the ticketing, I will do the ticketing today. I will not do the ticketing tomorrow on this TST. Yes or no? For tomorrow, I have to create a new TST. Okay, now let's go and talk about second mandatory element. And the second mandatory element is commission. And commission is one of the mandatory elements to be entered in the PNR for the ticketing. So how do you find out the commission, or how do you display the commission from the Amadeus commission table? Because how much is commission allowed from the by the Amadeus from the Amadeus commission table? So there is a command TQT slash FM. This command will show you how much commission is going to be given by the airline from this PNR if you issue the tickets. Okay, is that clear? So if you run in your live system, you will automatically get a commission amount 1%, 2%, or 0%. So whatever the commission is allowed as per the Amadeus commission table, you will have to mention in the PNR. And how will you add the commission with the help of a command? The command is given FM. What is the command that you type here? FM. Now, how much is commission allowed? So the commission is allowed 0%. So I will type simple 0 here. Now let's take an example. If there is a 5% commission allowed, then what I will do? We'll type here FM5. Absolutely correct. So let's type FM0 as a 0% commission. Done. So my second mandatory element is done. First mandatory element TST, second mandatory element commission. Clear? Yes or no?
Yeah. Sorry to interrupt you, Naveen. To check the commission, it is TQT FM, TQT
Yes.
slash FM, right?
Yes, correct.
And to give the commission, it is FM and whatever the commission is. If
That's
it is
absolutely good.
1%, then 1.
1.75, 1.25. So type only that percentage value.
Whatever the commission would be.
That's correct.
Okay, correct. Thank you.
FM then 1.25.
Okay, now let's go and talk about the third mandatory element. And the third mandatory element is form of payment. Okay, so there are two ways to add the form of payment. Number one is given here as a cash. Now, what does this mean by cash? So, and when do we use this form of payment as a cash? So, when a travel agent is going to make the payment from his account, that means his travel agency account, to the airline's account. So then the travel agent will add the form of payment as a cash. Okay, is that clear? So it means that you are going to make the form of payment as a cash, means from my travel agency accounts to the airline's travel agency. Sorry, to the airline's account. This is how the payment is going, and that is why I am going to add the form of payment as cash. And how will you add the form of payment in the PNR? FPCASH. Is that clear? And then you will see the third mandatory element is added. Okay. Now there are additional informations to be given. So please everybody focus here. Now there are certain conditions that there is a adult passenger and there is an infant passenger also available in the TST. That means in the PNR. Okay. Now, I wanted to add the form of payment as cash for the adult passenger only. Then I will type the command fppacks and cash. Now, this will only add the form of payment for all the seat holding passengers. That means without infant. So for infant, the form of payment cash is not going to be added. Is that understood? So this is a condition where you do not want it to add the form of payment as cash for infant passenger. So then you will simply type FP packs cash. So all the seat holding passenger, beating the child or the adult passenger, all of them will get added as a form of payment cash. Understood? Yes, no? Great. So now I have added the form of payment as a cash. Now, always remember one thing, and that is related with one IATA policy I'm going to discuss about. Now, whenever you added a form of payment as a cash and you are going at the step of issuance, so you might face one issue. Now, what is that issue? That issue is that you might get a message as FOP RJT rejected by the IATA FOP authority. If you added a form of payment as cash, you might get this message at the time of ticket issuance, or you might not get also. So why did you get this message and why did not you get the message? I'm going to make it clear. So whenever you get this message is suggesting and giving you an information that your IATA cash limit is expired or exhausted, you can say, which simply means as per the IATA, the FOP cash is reached to its maximum limit as defined by the IATA. So the IATA will define a suppose let's say 10 lakh rupees as a cash limit, and you have already utilized 9 lakh 90,900 rupees, and this is a ticket cost rupees 50,000. So now if you use the form of payment as cash and going for issuance, you get a message as FOP RJT rejected by IATA FOP authority, which means you have already exhausted or you have used your maximum IATA cash limit. Is that clear? Is this part clear with everyone? Now what, as a travel agent, what you will have to do, you will have to get you will have to update the cash limit to the by talking to the BSP or the IATA. So you need to talk with your IATA agent, or you need to talk with the BSP and update your cash limit. Okay? Or if this ticket is very urgent and you wanted to issue that particular ticket, so then you can go ahead and make the payment through credit card also. Is that clear? So you don't wanted to get it contacted the IATA person to update the cash limit. So then you can simply go ahead and make the payment through credit card, and the payment will be directly debit from the credit card to the airline's account. This is how the payment will be done. Okay. And how will you add the form of payment as a credit card? Then in that case, you have to delete the form of payment as credit cash with the command XE and the line number, and then you will type the command FECC, that means form of payment as a credit card, followed by the two-letter credit card code. And for my example, I have used the two-letter code as a VI. So VI means it's a Visa type credit card. Now, how did I get to know this Visa type credit card code, or if it is a MasterCard credit card, if it is an American Express credit card? Then there is a command. Let me open a new command page, HECC.695. This will show you all the credit cards which are accepted by the Amadeus, followed by their two-letter codes. Now see, for Access credit card, this access is that. For Japan credit card, JC. For Visa credit card, VI. And for Master credit card, CA. So understood? So that's why we have used the Visa credit card, VI. And then I have to enter the 13-digit credit card number. Sorry, 16-digit credit card number, not 13-digit. 16-digit credit card number. Done. Followed by the expiration date. So my card is going to expire by 12th December 2026. So that's the December 2026. That's not a date, that's a month. So 12th is the month December and expiry year. Is that clear? Is that clear with everyone? Enter. Okay, so Nishani, your question is, if we have a commission and we issue the tickets with the credit card, still can have the commissions? Yes, Nishani, absolutely correct. You will. Thank you, Sonali. So is that clear with the second the third mandatory element? Yes, no? And when do we use the form of payment as cash? When do we use the form of payment as credit card? Is this clear with everyone? All right. Now, there is another information that if you wanted to enter the value, TST value, you can enter the TST value also. But it is completely optional because the card will be only debited with the amount as TST. Okay? Extra amount will not be debited. Is that clear? All right. The next and the important thing is how did you now the next important element is FV element. Now, what is this FV element? This is called a validating carrier. So for my case, tell me, is the validating carrier entered? Yes or no? Now, how did this thing happen? Because the moment we create a TST, the system will auto pick the validating carrier. All right. So the step number 5 is not going to be mandatory for you for my example. But if you wanted to add the FV manually in case of manual TST or other thing, then we will run the command FV followed by the 2-letter airline code. But remember, always recommended to pick automatically the validating carrier. And if you are going to enter the FV manually, so please go and follow the IATA policy. All right. That means whichever is applicable for the validating carrier, then that airline names will be entered and the manual command. Is that clear? Yes, no? And then we will go and add the tour codes. So the tour code will be only applicable for the negotiated fare or the corporate fare. Tell me, is it a negotiated fare? It's not a negotiated fare. Yes or no? So we are not going to enter this. Once we will learn about the negotiated fare, then we'll discuss how to add the negotiated code. And then this is one optional element which is endorsement line. And if you notice, the endorsement element is automatically added for this PNR. How does thing line added? At the time of TST creation. So the system will automatically pick the FV and the FE element. And the endorsement element is used to identify any restrictions airlines comments or the rules that may apply to the ticket. So if I ask you a question, what is the rule apply for this fare? If you change there will be a change fee apply. If you asking for refund, the refund fee apply. If you become no show, the no show fee apply. So this is a short information about the fare rules. Is that clear? Yes, no? So that's why it is mentioned that FE elements automatically created by the fare server. So the moment we do FXP command, this will be automatically picked. But if you wanted to add it manually, you will type FE followed by the message. So we will learn it this command once we are going to discuss about the manual TST. So is that clear? Yes, no? Now I have added all the elements to be entered for the ticketing. Let's go and save in the PNR. Done. So my saving command is done. Is that clear? All right. Now we will simply go and perform TTP command. TTP to issue the ticket. But I don't want it to go and directly issue the ticket. That means issue the ticket number on the PNR. I wanted to pre-validate the ticket issuance, that whether the elements are present for the ticketing or not. For that, I will do the TTP/TKT. Enter. This will give me a message, OK to ticket. Whenever you get this message, it simply means that your PNR is ready for ticketing. There is no elements missing in the PNR that will stop you to do the ticketing. Is that clear? So let's go and talk about issuance. So if I wanted to issue the tickets, I can do either command TTP or I can do the command TTP/RT. Now, what is the difference between TTP and TTP/RT? So if I wanted to simply issue a e-ticket, then I will type the command TTP. Okay. But if I wanted to issue the ticket and retrieve the PNR on the same screen, then I will type the command TTP/RT. Is that clear? Yes, no? Okay. So right now, I wanted to go and issue the PNR and get the PNR split redisplay on the screen. So then I'm typing the command TTP/RT. And the message is telling me OK e-ticket. So whenever you see OK e-ticket means the ticket is issued. Is that clear? Now, I told you that, okay, my PNR gets redisplayed on the screen. But where is the PNR? So if I wanted to redisplay the PNR on my screen, what command I will type here? RT. Now I'll be able to see the PNR on my screen. But if I have not used this command, I simply have typed the TTP and then I type the RT command, then I will not be able to redisplay the screen because my PNR has been ignored from the background after issuing the ticket. Is that clear with everyone? Great. Now I have redisplayed my PNR and my ticket is issued. Now, once my ticket is issued, there are two elements that you will see in the PNR. Now, what are the two elements? FA and FB. So, do you see the A and FB elements? At line number 6 and line number 7. Now, what is FA element? FA element is the e-ticket line details. Okay, that is called as a ticket line information. And why there is a single FA line generated? Can anyone tell me? Because FA line always gets generated on the passenger wise. So if there are 4 passengers, so how many FA lines get generated? 4 FA lines. Clear? Now, either the 4 passenger will be a adult, child, infant. All right. So the 4 FA lines gets generated. But how many FB lines gets generated? So FB is the Amadeus reference for the e-ticket issuance as per the TST. And if there will be 3 TST, so how many FB lines gets generated? No, there are 3 TST, then the 3 FB lines get generated. So that's the reason I have mentioned that the FB will be issued as per the number of TST. Is that clear? So here there is a single passenger, so that's why there is a single FA, and single TST, that's why there is a single FB line generated. Is that clear? Now let's read about FA line. FA means e-ticket details. So in the FA line, you will see the e-ticket details, and in the e-ticket details, beside the FA, this is PAX mentioned. What does this PAX means? PAX means this is an adult passenger ticket. If there is an infant passenger ticket, then instead of PAX, it is showing INF. Absolutely correct. Now, beside that INF, there is a ticket number mentioned. This is a 13-digit ticket number, and the first 3 digit is the ticket document number. And 6 digit is the ticket document number of Singapore Airlines. Clear? Followed by the 10-digit ticket number. ET stands as an electronic ticketing, and who is the electronic ticketing carrier? Singapore Airlines, followed by the amount, followed by the date, followed by the office ID, followed by the IATA number, and then followed by the segment number also. So that this ticket number belongs to which segment number? Segment number 2 and the segment number 3. Is that clear? Great. Now, the next information is very much important, that once the ticket is issued, 2 elements you will see. We discussed about FA and FB element, but once the e-ticket is issued, there are 2 documents generated. How many documents gets generated? 2 documents generated. Number 1 is the ITR copy, which is called as an passenger itinerary receipt copy. And the second element is the invoicings copy. So for those people who do the invoicings also, so they will see though that element. Now, as an travel agency, you need, as a travel agent, you need to know that how do I display the passenger invoice receipt on my screen. So if I wanted to display the passenger invoice receipt, which is ITR copy on my command page, I will simply ITR D. So the command to display the itinerary tax receipt copy display, this is the command. And there you will see the passenger itinerary receipt. That's why we call it passenger itinerary receipt. Understood? Yes, no? And here you will see the information about the segments and the charges, like how much is the fare information and such things mentioned. Is that clear? Okay. Now, if you do not wanted to display it's on the screen, you wanted to display, you wanted to email it to the passenger, then what command you will type? ITR and the email ID. hyphen EML hyphen the email ID. Is that clear? How do you send Muhammad Zayan? IEP is the command to send the itinerary, and ITR is the command to send the itinerary receipt copy, which includes the itinerary and the fare. But IEP will not include the fare part. Is that clear? So that's the difference between IEP and the ITR. So the ITR will send the fare and in the fare details to the customer. So ITR hyphen EML and the email ID. Press enter. This is how the itinerary receipt email sent. Okay, let me show you that command here in my email ID. It is taking some time. Okay, now I received that email. See the Amadeus invoice receipt. Is that clear? This is how you will see the informations: the agency name, the charges, the itinerary. Is that clear? Okay. Now let's go and talk about the other commands. Now, once the ticket is issued, and I wanted to see the e-ticket record copy, because the e-ticket record copy is it is very, very important for you to open and read it, because the in the e-ticket copy you will see the exact information about the PNR. Okay, and how do I display the e-ticket record, or the e-ticket record is stored in the airline database, and you wanted to display it on the Amadeus. How will you display? With the command TWD. The moment you do TWD, the e-ticket record, which is stored on the Amadeus, which is stored on the airline database, is displayed with the command TWD. Is that clear? Now, what all informations are there? The information about the ticket number, the Amadeus information that this e-ticket record is displayed with an Amadeus, followed by the record locator, followed by the origin destination, followed by the sales indicator, followed by the FCPI indicator. Remember we discussed about this FCPI, I0. So if it is FN, so ticket fare. Is that clear? So airline will always see everything. So if it is a manual, then it will show M. Is that clear? Point of issuance. So where is the point of issuance? So this is an Amadeus office ID belongs to Delhi. So that's why it is point of issuance. Date of issuance. So today I have issued the ticket. So that's why it is showing date of issuance. IATA of issuance. So this is my IATA number. Is that clear? Followed by the name of the passenger. And apart from the name of passenger, you will see this is Delhi, Singapore, Singapore, Delhi, the Nancy class, travel date, fare basis, and you will see there is an ST mentioned. So ST is called as a status of the PNR. Status means, is the PNR open? Is the PNR refunded? Is the PNR flown by and used by that? That's called e-ticket coupon status. All right. So what is the e-ticket coupon status? that is open. Is that clear? Okay. Now, is that only open status always displayed in the e-ticket coupon status? So the answer would be no. There are many other statuses also. And if you wanted to read about the status, what are the different status? There is a help page, which is HETWD. Followed by the next command, GPETD, GPET2. The next follow-up command is MD200. And you will be able to see all the status of the coupon here. O stands open for use, airport control, C stands checked in, R stands refunded, S stands suspended, F stands flown, E stands exchanged or reissued. Understood? Is that clear? So this is how you will see all the status codes. Is that clear? Anyone have any questions? Please feel free to ask me. All right. Now, since I have already opened the e-ticket record, which is stored on the airline system, gets displayed on the Amadeus with the help of command TWD. We have discussed till the status part. What is this 10th July? NVB and NVA. Not valid before and not valid after. Followed by the baggage details. Now, apart from that, you will see one more thing, the airline base fare, or you can see the airline fare is also getting displayed. So how much is the airline fare? 27,300. And what is the indicator? F is the indicator. And the total tax is followed by the total fare. Here is the fare construction line. This is the FE line. This is the form of payment, and about the ticket is non-endorsable. And if you wanted to see the breakdown of the taxes, use this command TWD/tax. This will show me the total tax breakdown. Now, if you wanted to see the tax fee details, then you will type this command. Sorry, for tax fee, you wanted to see the details. The command is TWD/tax. All right. Endorsable means that whatever is endorsed and whatever is written here is not going to be changed. This is non-endorsable. Is that clear? All right. Next. The next thing. The next information is you wanted to display the e-ticket for the multi-passenger. So there are multiple passengers. So there are multiple FA lines. Yes or no? There are multiple FA lines, and you wanted to display one of the e-ticket record. You will type this command. Is that clear? And if you wanted to display the e-ticket record with the e-ticket number, here is the command to run this command, and with this command you will get the e-ticket record to be displayed. Is that clear? Now, today we have started with a little late, so I would request everybody to give us 15 minutes extra time so that I can at least cover one of the topic of negotiated fare. All right? Is that clear? Okay. So everybody understood about how do you display the e-ticket record? All right. Now we are going to discuss about the next topic as negotiated fare. Okay, and we have already discussed about a negotiated fare. That means between airlines and the travel agency there is a negotiation done, and airline has given you a specific fare which is called as a deal fare or a discounted fare. How did you issue the deal fare and a discounted fare? What all the information is to be checked? We will going to discuss this part. Is that clear with everyone? Yes, no? Now, this is one of the PNR. Okay. And I am going to start discussing about the negotiated fare. So the negotiated fare can be of two types. Number one is net remit ticket, and the number two is the incentive tickets. Okay. So now we are going to discuss about incentive ticket, because the net remit ticket we'll discuss about later on. So first of all, let's discuss about incentive tickets. So the incentive ticket is just a ticketing to be done using a special fare which are not associated to a published fare. So this is not a published fare. This is a special and a deal fare which is provided by the airline, and airline gives the travel agents direction on what fare to use. And if you are going to use this fare, you have to add the tour code, and that tour code will identify that whether it is a net remit ticket, whether it is a IT ticket. So that tour code is the only way that will identify that under the negotiated fare or under the deal fare, which type of ticketing is to be done. Is it a net remit ticketing or is it a incentive ticketing? Is that clear? So is that clear about an incentive ticketing? So incentive means a deal fare, which is a special fare provided by the airline. And how do I find out the incentive, you can say the negotiated fare for this PNR? Tell me, how do I go and find out the negotiated fare for that? Absolutely correct. FXP/R comma U. With the help of this command, I will be directly going to create a TST in the negotiated fare. Yes, for the particular agent. So whatever the negotiated fare right now you will see, this is for the office ID Del 1A0900. This is not applicable for any other travel agency. Is that clear, Ravindra? Okay, so let me do this. Now I got the fare, and if I do this RT command, you will see the TST is created. Yes or no? Tell me yes or no. So here I have already run this command that will get the negotiated fare, or you might get the IT fare from the system. So this is also called as an IT fare. Now, what is IT fare? This is called as an inclusive tour ticketing fare, which means there is a tour code added, and that tour code will allow you to hide the fare from the customer. That means the customer cannot, or the passenger cannot be able to see the fare. Understood? Is that clear? Now you will just see the difference. Now the difference is, since it is a IT ticket, since we are going to issue a negotiated fare as a IT ticketing, the base fare indicator will go and change to I. Now I am going to show you the TSP. See, what is the base fare indicator right now? I. So understood about this part? So if it is a published fare, it will show F. But if it is an IT ticketing fare that under the negotiated fare, that base fare indicator should be I. Understood? Now the second thing, the fare ladder will not contain any value, which means there will be no NUC, no ROE. So see, the fare ladder has no NUC and no ROE. Do you see the ROE is mentioned here? No? Yes, no? Great. And since this is a IT fare, so we will have to add the tour code to identify that, okay, this is a negotiated fare between airline and travel agent. What type of negotiation done, as an incentive fare or as a net remit ticketing? Understood? So let's go and discuss about the steps for IT ticket issuance, which is incentive toward ticketing issuance. Understood about this? So with the command of fxp slash r comma u, you got to issue, you got to save the TST. Now update the ticketing element. Now what are the ticketing elements? Form of payment, form of commission, form of validating carrier, form of endorsement element. So first of all, let me add the form of payment. So since I am going to make the payment from my travel agency account, so I'm going to type FP cash. Done form of payment. Now let's add the commission. How do I add the commission? What is the command to add the commission? FM. The airline has given me and allowed me to take 5% commission. So what I'll do? 5. Now understand, it's an hypothetical example. So I'm just telling that, okay, the airline has allowed me to take 5% commission. However, on the incentive tour ticketing, the airline will not give you allowed to take the commission as a normal one, because this is already a commissioned fare. So on that, they will not allow you to add a commission amount. But still, if the airline has given you an allow you to add a commission, you add the commission like this way. Is it clear? Now the next thing, I need to add the validating carrier and the endorsement element. So check, my validating carrier is already added, and the FE element is to added manually. How do I add the FE element? FE, and I'm going to type it, ticket is non-refundable. Is that clear? Ticket is non-refundable. Done? Okay. Next, quickly going to update our tour code. Now, why the tour code is mandatory? Because the tour code will identify the type of agreement. Okay. And the tour code will automatically gets picked up. So if you see, do you see the tour code is added here in the line? No tour code added. Okay, if the tour code will be added, it shows a separate line. So if there is no tour code added, we will add it manually. But remember, the TST will get changed also if you are going to add the tour code. So always remember, if you are going to add the tour code, add the tour code correct. Otherwise, you will get an ATM. All right, and you do not get a Amadeus guaranteed indicator also. You lose the Amadeus guaranteed indicator. So remember, while adding the tour code manually, you will type the command FT. That is the tour code to be added. And what type of tour code is IT? That means this is an incentive tour ticketing, and the airline has given me a tour code as 4BA Tour 5. So this is an airline tour code. Remember, this is not my tour code given. This tour code is given by the airline. Okay, so similarly, all of you will get a tour code by the airline. So how will you add the tour code? With the command, sorry, FT IT. So FT is the command, IT is the type of incentive tour ticketing, followed by the tour code. So this is how you will add the tour code in the PNR. Done? Is that clear? Save the PNR. Simple. Save it. Done? And then you will go and pre-validate it. So let me do TTP/TKT to pre-validate whether my PNR is ready for ticketing or not. Yes, ready for ticketing. Then I will simply go issue the PNR. TTP/RT. And now I got the message, okay, ticket, and my ticket got issued. There is an FA line added. Yes or no? Is that clear? Now, if I display the basic fare in the e-ticket record, let me open the e-ticket record. Now, the base fare indicator is F, and do you see the base fare value? Understood? Yes, no? So understood? The base fare will be hidden, and that's why it is mentioned the base fare indicator should be I. Okay? Is that clear? The fare construction line is nil value. Here is the tour code that I've added, non-endorsable, and this is a net rep reporting fare. So that's why it is an ITBT fare. You can say it's an IT incentive tour ticketing fare. It is showing in this part. Understood? How do I display the taxes breakdown? TWD/tax. Now somebody might ask me a question. So if there is no base fare showing, where do I see the base fare? Where do I see the base fare value? In the TST. Understood? In the TST, you will see the base fare value. Is that clear? Is that clear with everyone? Now I'm going to send you the steps in your chat. So today I'm going to send you the first steps for IT ticket. Rest of the steps will be shared tomorrow. Okay, so don't worry, I'll share it the entire notes in your chat box. Please copy this and give me 5 minutes more to complete this net remit ticketing. Okay, is that clear? Because then we will be able to cover the negotiated fare topic today. This is today's agenda. So we are done with the incentive tour ticketing. We are going to done with the net remit ticketing. So can we start the net remit ticketing? Yes, no? Okay, all right. I think I need to end the session because there is another session scheduled for 2 o'clock, and I believe it will take some more extra time to cover it. So let's end the session for today. Tomorrow, I would request you to please join on session on time at 10 o'clock, before 10 o'clock, not at 10 o'clock, so that we can start the session on time. All right. So would request please everyone join on before 10 o'clock so that we can start it. Is that clear? Now for today, I have shared you the steps for the IT ticket issuance. Now tomorrow, I will share you the entire notes, whichever we have discussed, and then we'll begin the session. So I'm going to just end the session. Anyone have any questions? Please let me know. All right, so let's end the session. See you tomorrow by 10 o'clock. And before ending the session, everybody will receive a feedback survey on your browser that has asked you a question about five or 10 questions, asking you yes, no. So you need to just reply with yes, no. And there is a 10 question which is asking you to rate on Amadeus based on the training. And the scale will be 10, 1 to 10. So if you are satisfied, if you are extremely satisfied with the training, give it 10 as a